AKWA IBOM State Police Command has arrested 42-year-old Victor Okoh for the murder of his 38-year-old wife, Victor Okoh, at their residence in Oron Local Government Area. This incident highlights the persistent and troubling issue of domestic violence, a trend previously noted in reports highlighting the high rate of such crimes within Nigerian society. Command Public Relations Officer DSP Tingfam John stated that the arrest followed a distress call from concerned residents. Police operatives arrived at the scene around 5:20 a.m. and apprehended Okoh, who was hiding in the ceiling. Investigations revealed he attacked his wife with a machete following allegations of infidelity. At about 5:20 hours, operatives of the command swiftly responded to a distress call from concerned residents. Upon arrival at the scene, officers discovered the mutilated body of the deceased lying outside the house she shared with her husband, John stated. Preliminary investigations revealed that the suspect had allegedly attacked his wife with a machete pattern of violence against women that demands immediate attention and action from law enforcement, community leaders, and social support organizations. Now, for February alone, we had reports of 1,789 domestic abuse cases
1,789
for February alone.
February this year.
This year, February alone.
Oh my God!
When you look at that, what are your thoughts as regards this report?
That's serious, really. It breaks my heart.
It does. It's sad.
In this time, we are still having this kind, and the statistics you just gave is alarming.
Oh, it's so bad that the House of Representative, the Speaker, the Deputy Speaker, is like it's getting way too much because it's getting higher by the day.
I say it should be going down.
No, it's not going down. It's actually increasing.
Wow. What kind of society are we living in? I really don't know. But for me, even as a young girl, before I got married, I've always spoken up when it has to do with this domestic abuse. As a young girl, I hear or I see you do it, I lash out. And sometimes I feel, this one-man squad or something like that. I don't want to say I blame the woman. No.
Okay.
You know, orientation matters. Background, where are you coming from? Are you coming from a family where you are listened to? Are you coming from a family where there is a lot of love between your mom, your dad, your siblings, your parents? Because for me, I believe is what your action speaks louder than words. If a man, let me say a man, a young boy coming from a home where he observes that the communication between his parents is filled with love, I'm sure he wants to look out to do way better than his father. And for me, I think men that abuse their wives came from abusive homes too. You know, if your mother and your father never fought, if your father never raised his hands on your mom, I don't think you want to do that. Today we teach our sons, respect your sister. It starts from you respecting your sister. Don't hit your sister. Don't say vile words to your sister. You're training that young boy to be a better husband and to be a better father.
All right.
And where I sort of blame the woman, I have this slogan, and I teach that to my daughters and to the female students in my school.
Okay.
It slaps you one time. No, it's going to slap you a second time. It slaps you one time and apologizes and says, see how you made me slap you, you're wrong. Because that statement tells you, I am the reason why I was slapped.
Yeah.
You are never the reason why you're slapped. You were slapped simply because the man feels he has this authority over you. So he should discipline you. So we need to start from the home to change this attitude of men thinking it is their right to discipline their wives.
So I want to, something came to mind when, you were giving that really beautiful analysis. I had a guest once come on the show, and he said that when a man marries a woman and your father has collected the bride price, as it were, your father has relinquished certain authorities he had over you to your partner, as regards your partner has become your father.
Really?
Your partner has become your Lord. Your partner has become your protector and your provider. Right. Now, by this, by what you rightly said about correction, so in that way, it seems like the husband is
playing the role of the dad.
Is playing the role of the dad. Do you think this thought pattern has further inflated these cases of abuse? And now, when I say the thought pattern, the idea that I counted my money to come and marry you, it's really how high marriages have become. So they feel that, so like people now feel, as I've counted my money to marry you, you're now a product or a consignment I go home with, because it's a purchase. As it seems. What are your thoughts in that regard?
Very wrong mindsets. Very, very wrong. You know, I think this statement you made, that's why when you go to marry these days, you see the fathers, we tell the young man, keep your money. You know, because they want to change that concept
narrative,
of I paid. You know, they publicly they say, you bring all the monies, the man will look at the father who has respect for himself and for his daughter. We look at you and say, I can see you brought plenty money. Keep it, hold it. Or to show, like, okay, it takes 1,000 naira from the plenty money you brought. That's okay. I have taken this 1,000 to buy myself maybe a bottle of Chamdor or whatever. Keep the remaining one, and then he reels out rules for you on how to take care of his daughter. Now fathers go ahead to say it.
There's a better way to play it. It gives a better playing field.
Yes. They go ahead to give rules. You see this, my daughter you're marrying? Breakfast is a must. Lunch is a must. Dinner, you must give her. Now, she's very stubborn, I know, because she's a woman that believes in herself. And I love her for being that kind of a woman. The day you raise your hand on her because she stood her ground, that day, you hear father say it now. I can't collect my daughter.
Now, I really love the fact that we've come towards the family.
Yeah.
Now, for many people, even though they have certain level of family support, some people do not have family support. Some people go back home to say, I'm being abused. Like, no, God forbid, nobody don't divorce for this house. We no longer have space to take you in.
That is why Osinachi died.
You know, we no longer have space. You don't have a room here. You can't come back home. So when we now, the way I'm coming from, you know, the angles of the people that should matter.
Yes. In
the grand scheme of things, when, you know, abuse is being laid out. Now, a woman cannot go back to her family because because the family says, I've seen a situation where the family say you can't come back home. You have to stay there. The mother kept insisting, man and woman used to have problem. You think I and your dad, we've not had issues.
I did not leave your dad. Oh.
I did not leave your dad. Now, people are now forced to, you know, stay in that situation. On the other hand, let's talk about religion and how the pastors say you have to stay. God does not love divorce. What are your thoughts in that regard?
It's like I'm whispering. Will the pastor say that to his daughter? That's the question. I am not in support of divorce. I am totally against it. I am also not in support. I can't even stand it that a man will raise his hands on his wife. So, in terms of religion, I will continue to ask, will the pastor say that to his daughter. They go ahead to tell you, pray.
Oh yes, pray.
Bring it before the altar. Leave it at the altar. Have you seen the movie War Room?
All right, yeah, I have.
Leave it at the altar. Leave it there. Leave it there. And every day you see the woman depressed, a shadow of herself, no smile, and you are telling that woman, leave it at the altar. Yes, leave it at the altar. I am an advocate for separation. I did not say what? Divorce. If you feel it's getting hot, too hot, separate. Give yourself that space. Probably you will get back to it when you give yourself that space. And in the process of separation, if you find out that it wasn't your fault as a woman, or that really you can't go back, sweetheart, my dear sister, stay back wherever you are. Because this statistics you gave to me, yeah, or you gave to us, yeah, is alarming. And
yes.
I'm very sure more than 80% of these statistics
were not reported.
More than 80% were told, manage, it will change. I know that, yes, sometimes the man is pushed to the wall. You know, when a woman is angry, they say she's crazy. But when a man is angry, they say the man was pushed to the wall. So let me borrow that analogy. The man gets angry and gets pushed to the wall, and that is why he raised his hand. There is no excuse. There's no way you will tell me you can give any excuse to why a man will raise his hand on his wife. It is not acceptable.
Very well then. I want to get your thoughts as regards, you rightly said there is no reason.
Mm-hmm.
Being that you're married yourself, what are the best ways to resolve conflict in marriages? Because they must arise as people come from different backgrounds.
It does, sweetheart. It does. Mostly when I already have my opinion on certain issues as let me say, as knowledgeable, I think, as I am knowledgeable. We have every level of knowledge.
Yes.
And sometimes it's too much knowledge that gives rise to this kind of conflict. Now, if you've been trained properly, like I have been trained, I say it boldly, I've been trained, and I'm married to a man who was brought up well, trained well, and was told never to raise his hands on a woman. So when issues like that come up, that I have seen in some homes to result to this, when we have those kind of issues, he simply just takes his car key and walks away. And by the time he's coming back, he's calm. By the time he's coming back, I am what? I am calm. And then we talk about it like people who love themselves enough to want to get married. I'm not saying mature. I'm saying people who love themselves. We just talk about it, and that's all. So issues will always come up. So if in a week you have issues that are that could make you want to scream, will you beat your wife up all 7 days in a week? That's my question. So if you can handle day 1 issue, means you can also handle the day 2, day 3, up to day 7 issue.
But why do you think people always have issues like this? If they are going to be having issues daily, then what then is the joy of being in the consummate marital relationship?
Sometimes I feel some persons, we are not supposed to come together. If the reason why you're getting married to the woman is because she's pretty, and then she goes through childbirth, and suddenly you are not seeing that beauty anymore. If that's your reason, means you don't know why you got married. So
you think people marry because of societal, pleasures and pressure?
Societal pleasure. Okay, yeah, my sister got married to a millionaire. I'm going to get married to a millionaire. If you don't find your balance before marriage, I don't think you find it in marriage.
Thank you so much for that. One last question on this report before we go. Do you think law enforcement and policies are doing well with these cases? Because now, there's usually, you know, back in the day when we're growing up, I'm not saying that this deserves that sort of, you know, punishment as it were, but when we're growing up, when I was growing up, I grew up in a place where there was a beach. Sometimes I think little I've heard
nice.
when they said they're going to, you know, people are being killed in that place for, as in the police and all that. After their judgment, they've been sentenced to death, and they take people to that place and firing squad.
Okay.
Just you know, the open area. And most times, some of them are criminals, you know, core criminals. And that usually acted as a deterrent. My dad would remind my brothers then, I don't want to see you guys outside. You see those bad guys that they killed,
So
you know. So it's like a point of reference, right? Now, do you think that the punishment given to people that commit these crimes as regards domestic violence, we always say is a domestic issue. Do you think that, you know, rather makes it more prominent, because people are like, they will eventually say it's a domestic issue? I've hardly seen a report of someone actually serving jail term for abuse. Do you think if that is in place, it's going to act as a deterrent to people that are going forward to, you know, in this case, kill their partners?
Are you asking if capital punishment is in place? Is that what you're asking?
I'm not even thinking of capital punishment. Now, I'm thinking about, if the woman does not die, you know, there's hardly any case.
Hardly any case. Really wrong.
If it's domestic scuffle, they beat me up, so I'm tired, so I take you to court. The whole party, the whole case will point towards they're trying to divorce each other more than there was actually an abuse. That is why this is ended. The abuse factor is usually removed from the case, as it were. Now, when you look at this, why is it that if somebody does not die, there is no case? And I don't think this man was beating this woman because he wanted to kill her, but be picking up a machete. I mean, I'm not sure what his thoughts were.
I think our lawmakers need to really sit down and look at these issues very well. And bills should be proposed in the House of Assembly, National Assembly, all the assemblies that will protect us, really, because the woman doesn't have to die before punishment is given. The woman doesn't have to die before you say, okay, we'll sentence this man to jail. No. There should be punitive measures for constant abuse. There should be punitive measures. But we live in a society where...
But when you say constant abuse, what do you mean? Does it have to be a repeated offender?
The truth is, the first time the woman is abused, no report is made.
And I want you to know that women are also guilty of killing their husbands in recent times.
I know of one. I know of one who is still in jail. She's still in jail in River State here. I know of one. So when I say constant, no report is made when the man does it the first time, because the man will say, sorry, a mistake. I didn't know when I raised my hand. I got so angry, so I didn't know when I raised my hand. And people are there to defend the man. Oh, this man is so calm. You can't do that kind of a thing. So the woman does not report it. So when I say constant, so for a woman that have accepted or agreed to stay after she was beaten the first time, she excuses the first time. She gives excuse like, I caused it. My bad mouth made him slap me. My bad mouth made him hit me. And then he does it the second time. She still won't report. It's maybe it has happened 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 times. That's why I use the word constant. That is when she makes a report. Now she reports to our Nigerian police. There, whosoever is there at that counter will say, Oga and Madam, I no go settle na matter for house. In beat you. Now you be the first woman when they beat. That is why I said our lawmakers, the judiciary should look at it and propose bills, promote bills for punitive measures for abuses in marriage.